Imagine this. Trump stands tall on stage, finger pointed north. We don't need Canada. Bold, loud, patriotic. And then, the US ends up begging Canada to build its icebreakers. Fast forward to 2025, and Washington is spending $8.6 billion on new Arctic ships. But American shipyards? Booked solid. Skilled workers? Not enough. So who steps in? The very Canada Trump mocked. Trump once ranted online that Canada only exists because of the US, yet America relies on Canadian oil, lumber, cars, and even power. Facts don't lie. Nearly 60% of US oil imports come from Canada. A quarter of Canadian lumber ends up in American homes. Ontario-made cars fill American roads. The US says it's self-reliant, but can't even power New York without Canadian hydro. Trump might shout, "America first," but reality whispers, "Canada always." Now why does this matter? Because the Arctic is melting, and new shipping lanes are up for grabs. It's a 21st century gold rush, with Russia and China already miles ahead. Russia has over 40 icebreakers, including 6 nuclear-powered beasts. China, though thousands of miles from the Arctic, calls itself a near-Arctic nation and is building its own fleet. Meanwhile, the US, global superpower, has 3 aging icebreakers. One's 50 years old. Another is mostly for research. That's not a navy, that's a museum. Congress freaked out and passed the big beautiful bill. Sounds strong. But it's all bark, no ship. US shipyards can't deliver on time. Skilled labor is shrinking. Supply chains are a mess. And building a steel-hulled Arctic monster is nothing like flipping burgers. So America turns to Canada. Specifically, to Davie Shipbuilding, the oldest shipyard in North America. They're modern, fast, and cheaper. They even bought Finnish and Texan yards to ramp up production. Result: Canadian-built icebreakers ready in 24 to 36 months, twice as fast, for less than half the cost. Canada's already spending $3.25 billion on its own Arctic fleet. Now it's helping the US build theirs. And suddenly, Trump's insults become contracts. The US dreams of 40 icebreakers. But without Canada, it's just that, a dream. US law requires a presidential waiver to contract foreign yards. Meaning one signature can flip, "We don't need Canada," to "Please help us." With that, Canada locks in $500 million in new investment, secures jobs in Quebec and Texas, and becomes North America's icebreaker king. And just when things couldn't get messier, Trump slaps tariffs on Canada over its $2 billion digital tax on tech giants. He halts all trade talks and throws a tantrum on Truth Social. Canada, calm, professional, focused on long-term diplomacy. Trump, treating a tax policy like an act of war. On stage at the G7, Trump shrugs off any compromise. "I still like tariffs," he says. That's not a policy, it's a personality flaw. Tariffs on Canada hit US families hard. Gas prices spike. Home construction costs skyrocket. The American dream? Now a luxury few can afford. The inflation storm brews. Small manufacturers start crumbling. Jobs vanish. Prices soar. But Silicon Valley CEOs get protected like endangered species. Trump's war isn't against Canada, it's against your wallet. And now, Germany and Italy are asking to repatriate hundreds of billions worth of gold from the US vaults. Not out of paranoia, but because they no longer trust Washington's stability. If the US loses that trust, its entire financial credibility could crack. And with rising debt, growing interest payments, and policy uncertainty, it's a perfect storm. Repatriating gold seems symbolic. But it's a warning shot, one that says, we don't trust the US like we used to. And if allies are pulling gold, cutting ties, and mocking our diplomacy while building our ships, maybe America first has turned into America alone. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, make sure to hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe to the Untold Compass. Share this video with someone who still thinks tariffs don't come with a cost.